Mick, very happy to welcome you to our meeting today. You've been a member of the London Dowsers for years and years and years, and your forte is unusual because it revolves around auras and also around holding items which you can give people details of. So to start with, Mick is going to talk about auras, and then we're going to have a little break when he wants to have a little break. And then we're going to go on to handling objects.
Yeah, psychometry.
Psychometry.
Yeah.
Okay. So you tell me when you want to have a little break, bearing in mind whatever time you want to go to.
Yeah.
Okay?
All right.
Can I suggest, can we shut the doors? This music in the background is a bit irritating.
We've not had doors before.
You've got doors.
Didn't even know we've got them.
No. Oh, let's turn the lights off. They're very glaring.
How's that?
Yes.
Fantastic.
Okay, Mick.
Right.
The floor is yours.
I'd like to thank everybody for coming. Anyway, that's the first thing. I know it's a bit of a journey to get to some of these places. Well, an aura, right, is like around the human body. It gives off and it's been proven scientifically. Yeah, anybody heard of curling, the camera? Yeah. Where they take photographs of plants and people, and that is the auric field. You have 7 auric fields around you, all right? And they start from, they call it, one's from the mental body, the emotional body, the etheric body, which is the bottom one, the astro body, I call the 5th spiritual body, the throat one, the celestial is the 5th, 6th, and the etheric is the 7th. And we call them onion, like a peeling of onion. And they are in colours to match. They match the chakras of the body. And all illnesses start with bad thought. Now people might go, oh no, but thought is an energy, it's a vibration. And there's an old saying, as you think, so you create, because we're all creators. These are teachings that I've come to learn over the years. And when illness enters the body, them vibrations, you normally might get a bump in your auric field or a hole. And gradually that will come through into the physical body and manifest itself into the body. Now, you can do a simple trick with the auric field. You can hold your hands up to the light like that, or to a white scene mover. I can do it now, and I can see a bluish grey light going from each finger. So if you try that, or the tips of your fingers, and just pull it away only a little bit, and some of you might see a energy coming from your fingers to your other fingers, just gently away. And you can feel it. Hold it a little bit closer, a little bit closer. Just to touch your fingers, come from, hold it to the light, and I can see my hand straight away. But I can see it. Normally when people start seeing the auric field, they normally see it in either a bluish grey colour. And that's what you'll see. And it takes training, but it's like everything else. If you don't use it long, it will fade, and you have to then sort of retrain yourself to do it again by looking. I don't say I see it all the time. I don't, and I never confess to. But sometimes I will look, and sometimes I am shown the auric field in a person, and I know from that, if that person's maybe a bit depressed, I mean, you can sense it, can't you? You've all been around people where you instinctively know that their energy is not very good. You feel it, you go, well, something around old Bob's not quite right, or my mum or my nan. And because we're all connected. There's nothing in this universe that is not connected. That's the first thing, we're all vibration. Although we're in a physical being, everything vibrates at certain frequencies, and it's no different to the vibrations of your auric field. Now, excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, my nose needs a blow. Now, some people claim to see auric fields all the time, and you can see them around animals, and like you can see it around plants. You can develop this for a healing method, as knowing where to land on her hands. I must tell you a little bit about myself. I've been a medium for 40 years. I am a spiritual healer. I am a member of the Essex Healing Society. Just a little bit of background. So I've been doing this for a long, long time. You know, most of my from being a young adult to now. So I do have a lot of quite experience with it, and sometimes you can hold your hands up to people and you can feel that energy coming off people. Or you can go like that. And if you go like that, like I can feel the energy build up and go out, the pulsating of energy. That is your own field, making a connection to one another, or yourself actually. Now these fields do attract other energies, and that's why sometimes it's important that you clear yourself, especially if you're a sensitive person and you go into places that are a little bit negative. And why I mention this, there's a lot of people here who do geopathic stress and that type of energy. So, it's important that you protect yourself. I mean, you also should protect yourself while you're doing your dowsing. You know, you put a mental bubble around yourself, whatever way you do it, and keep yourself grounded and earthed. This is because there is negative energy there, and that will attract itself to you, right? I'm not saying you're going to get possessed and all that, I'm not. I'm just saying, but it will affect you over a period of time. So that is why we talk about protecting ourselves, earthing ourselves when we do our dowsing, because we do the same thing. When we douse, you can obviously, you all know the trick with the dowsing. Get the rods, go to someone, and you can tell you where their auric field is, and you can move away, and you can even tell what they're thinking to a point with it. Because if you can get too close to a person, so if I've got my dowsing rods and just say, can I use you for a minute?
Yes.
And so a little demonstration, and walk to this lady, and I say to her, I want you to think of something really nice. So I can walk, is that all right if I just walk out your field for a minute? So I can walk away from this lady, and I can go like that, and I'll go bonk, and I know that's where her field is now, at this moment. I can walk away. Now if I tell her to think of something angry, so have a think of something a bit negative that you really don't like, and I can walk into her, straight away she's feeling negative. That is her expanding her auric field. And because the auric field does actually expand into infinity, although you just won't pick it up. But with the rods you can, or with a pendulum. So it's important that, you know, we say to ourselves, well, we douse our chakras, we use them into their manifold, but we also should douse your 7 energy fields. And I often go, like when I do healing, absent healing, I ask if their 7 main chakras are working, and I also ask, are their 7 spiritual bodies clear? Sometimes I get a no. Then it'll go like, are the astral fields clear? And just say, I'll go, no, that's me doing that, by the way. And then I know that there's negative feelings in the heart and in that chakra, in that energy field around them. But that can manifest as disease. So what I do is I say a little prayer and ask it to clear, and when I get the all clear, I know it's done. But I also always ask to balance up them other parts of the spiritual bodies that are around you. Now you have a higher one, which connects from you to your higher self. And one in between, I call it the 8th chakra, but very few people talk about it or know a lot about it, and the energy field. Because also with the etheric body, the crown chakra one, is called the casual body. So that energy, we know, affects the casual body. That's why they call it that as well. And so we clear them. Now, going on a little bit more, I mean, you've got meridian lines, which are, you know, the acupuncturists use, don't they? You know, you put pins in yourself. Well, the what's the name? Well, the guy does the acupuncture, or you do the same thing with reflexology by pressing certain parts of the body and the feet or the hands. You clear them blockages, right? And it is all to do with the energy field of the body, because if energy does not run through these meridian lines correctly, disease will block up, will build up, and cause you illnesses. And I know it sounds a bit negative, but these things are not looked at with us. But you keep your energy field clear, you keep positive thinking, you think of love and energy, and you will keep healthy. Obviously, living healthy, doing things that's going to keep your body and mind clean and healthy is giving off that vibration which goes through your auric field and in your energy. Right, so that's my bit on that, John. Right. Now,
Have you got somebody here whose aura stands out as that you could sort of home in on?
well, let me have a little looky.
Apart from there, of course.
There's nothing on your field, John. Actually, I'm drawn to this young lady. Yeah.
In a good way, I hope.
Always positive.
Good.
Always think positive. I get a nice vibration from off of you, as your energy. So I think I would say that you're a very positive person in your outlook in life.
I like to think so.
Yeah, and I do believe that you are a go-getter. Once you've made sure, set your mind to do something, you will do it. All right. However, no. But human beings are human beings. However, sometimes you take your time about making your mind up. Well, yes or no?
Oh, okay. Yes.
No, all I want from you. All I want from you is a yes or no.
Yeah, I do have no brand.
Yeah. I would say you've been really ill through your life.
Really what, sorry?
Rarely ill.
Yes.
You know, I'm not saying about colds and things.
Yes.
So, may I ask you a person? Are you married?
Yes.
Have
When
you-
I say yes, I've got a long-term relationship.
Well,
Not
don't
married,
matter,
Okay.
I feel there's a child was here involved with you.
No.
No. Did the child? Not yet. Now, what I'm saying is, did the child come to the airplane and go,
No.
or someone close round you that affected you? Just say no or yes. I don't.
No.
You don't know. All right, leave it there then, because I'll get readings and I ask for it. I'll get things. And it could be someone around you, and this is a part of that energy you get. So I won't be impersonal, by the way.
That's all right. That's okay.
You know what I mean? I'll give you what I'll get from your energy, and I will tell you what I'll get.
Could you find somebody over this side?
Yeah, I will. Give me a second, just a second. Yeah, because I want to say to you, you've got to look after your shoulders and your back.
Okay.
All right?
Yes.
If you don't already suffer with your shoulders across the neck area, all right, and look after yourself, you will later. Well, and that's a positive thing.
Thank you.
All right, so
Thank
think
you very
about that.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Right, who can we come to? Sorry, darling, what's your name? Alex. Can I just come closer to you, please? I do this because I will pick up. I feel that you've had a struggle in your life, Alex. I'll get that thing. I think sometimes your choices have not always been brilliant. And I know that goes through life with everybody, but there is I hope I'm not being. Tell me if you don't want to go and just say no. I don't want to talk about it, or just want to say I'm not going anything personal. I'm just giving you a quick feeling about yourself. I feel that you're a very guarded lady with relationships. All right. And I'll get that from your energy, because as I'm get closer to you and I'm talking to you about it, I feel you're shrinking back to yourself. Mm-hmm. You're being guarded. And I won't be surprised if you're sitting there and got a funny tummy about it. All right? So I'm not going, darling, right? I can see like you, it's upsetting you. All right, so I'm going to back off, okay? Now, this is because all energy gives off, and we're all we're all connected. And we're connected people. And I'm not here to give, per se, a reading spiritually in that respect, but I am in another way, because you've asked me to look into your energy field. Now, the problem is, when people ask you about looking into their auric fields and their energy, they're asking you to be public. So if someone comes to you, especially in a room, and we're all strangers, and you know, we've all got things that we'd rather not, you know, they're personal to you. So remember that when you allow people to do this, you're opening yourself up, and you're saying, well, this is my book of life, please read it out to everybody. But obviously it ain't that way. But can I come to you, darling? I know someone around you, or you, who've had trouble around the ears.
Trouble around?
The ear, this side of the face.
Yes, me.
That's you, because I see a blue light energy, and I see a part of that auric field. So that showed me that there's a health issue there with you.
Yes.
All right? Excuse me. Either you feel cold, you feel very cold, or someone around you who feels the cold. Just say yes or no. I don't want to.
Sometimes I can feel cold.
Right, that's all I want. That's all I want from you. Just a yes or no. Yes, because I don't want anybody feeding me with anything. So that if I'm shown something, I'll tell you. So I asked, and I felt, I'm going to come closer because I want to see if is that okay with you? Yeah. There's nothing to be afraid of.
No.
All right? This is not a voodoo doo. This is life. This is human beings. This is energy. Mm-hmm. And we give off energy, and that energy will give you information if you can pick it up or you're shown something. And I was shown a blue light around your face. Mm-hmm. To me, that is not the auric field showing me there's a problem now. All right? I also know that maybe you're a bit worried about someone's got blood pressure around you. Is that correct?
Yes.
Right, thank you. Because that shows, that's what I'm giving. So if you're worried about that, that energy will give me that information as well. I also know someone you know close to you who's got breathing problems.
Yes.
Right? You just think of them, just send their love, just send healing, and just make sure they do what they're supposed to do. Right? Because I get a sense of someone around you who's not taking their medication properly either. Right? Just look, just be aware of it. So I'm going to leave that with you there.
Do you want to stop now and have a little break?
Yeah, I want a little drink, if you don't mind. Stop for 5 minutes. I just want 5 minutes. Have a cup of tea, couple of rosé. No, I'm all right. I just
Want a little break for 10 minutes?
well, anybody want to ask me questions while I'm sitting down, they're quite welcome to, so we can. Yes, my friend.
I'm aware, I don't see auras, but I'm aware that obviously you do, and that sometimes that aura gives you information about the health of one of those fields.
Yeah.
So if I for some reason blocking my astral field, and I don't quite know what it would be that would block it, I don't quite know how you can unblock it rather than me unblock it.
Well, for a start, most people don't realise they're in that state of being.
True.
So what tends to happen is that, I mean, it's like people with chakras, they don't know their blocks. They don't even think that there's a problem. You know, you'll get an illness, or you start getting problems related to that to that part of the auric field through your chakra. And, you know, but not unless you're looking for it. How many people can you, this is how I put, what's your name?
Jerry.
Jerry, how many people can you go outside and talk about dowsing, and how many people can you actually talk about the chakras?
Well,
How many,
one in the first instance and 0 in the second.
well, you just made the point. But people don't know. You being aware of these things, because you're working in these fields, and dowsing, as you know, is working with energy. Because what you do when you look for water, you're looking for that. You're mentally tuning in to whether you're looking for water or archaeology. You're putting yourself in a state of mind and a state of time. You know, because obviously there's no real time. You know, there's an old saying in dowsing, the past is fixed and the future is a probability. So when you go back and you start doing your archaeology, you're looking for a state of something that's already been there and has got a marker, energetic marker, and you're looking for that energetic marker. You know, so that's the thing I see, why I see it. But how do you know? You've got to dash yourself. And
Well, that wasn't quite my question in a way. It was how you can unblock my astral block.
well, because I can control energy,
Okay.
and so can you. And it's not a secret. Everybody can do it. I mean, one of the things they teach you in dowsing is intent, isn't it? So if have you got intent to do good, that good will go to you.
And is your intervention permanent then?
Sorry?
Is your intervention permanent? If you unblock somebody's astral chakra,
Well,
would I reimpose that block?
you could do, yeah.
After you've
yes,
walked away?
yeah, because we're self-creators, we're our own creation. We create our own conditions.
So you can deal with a symptom, but not necessarily the cause.
Not necessarily, but you've got. I mean, look, it's the same to go to the doctor. The doctor says, "Well, if you keep drinking that booze, your liver's going to fall out and bounce on the floor." Now, if the doctor gives you a tablet that's, to argument's sake, cure you, and then you don't do whatever, like drink anymore, you're unlikely to get the symptoms. So, I would say, when you send energy to someone to help them, you are sending that thought of love and healing to them, as I like to put it, and it will be reacted on a spiritual and physical level. But if the person who is of negative thinking about it, thinking, oh well, you know, I'm going to carry on, then you've got a problem. You'll go over. I mean, how many times you give someone advice and they've not took it and they've still got the same old problem? And we're creatures of habit. We are creatures of habit. Because if you look at people, you know, we all go and do, me as well, I'm not sitting here saying I'm St. Michael, and we all make the same mistakes, and sometimes we visit the same thing. You know what I mean? It's only until you get off the roundabout and then start looking, then you realise that you are the problem in itself. So you say to yourself, well, I'm either going to stop drinking and I'm going to take them tablets on a regular basis, and my health will improve, and eventually I can win myself up the tablets because they're not there forever. And that's the only way I can put it to you. I mean, you know.
Can I say that many years ago I had a healer come to me because I had severe sciatica. Not that I asked him to come, it was to do with something else, but he mentioned that he was a healer. And I said, oh, thank goodness for that, I've got terrible sciatica. And within about 10 minutes, I hadn't met him before, he got me sitting in a chair in my own house, and he twisted my left foot right the way around 90 degrees to the point where it started to hurt. And he said, what I can see is lots of little black things, like you get on bread when it's gone mouldy. This is what he was saying to me. And after about 5 minutes holding my foot in a strange position, he sort of put it back down on the floor again, because I was going like that. and he said, give it about a week or 10 days and it will go. And that was all, no money, no nothing like that. And after about 3 or 4 days, the sciatica, which started down where my heel was, it disappeared, and it gradually started to disappear. And after about 10 days, I said, I've got to say, it's nearly all gone, just at the base of my back. He said, don't worry, just give it another few days. And he said, if it hasn't gone, then I'll come back and see you. Well, 2 or 3 days later, it went. I've never had sciatica since.
What's his name?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
I'll tell you, well, he's no longer with us, unfortunately, but he was quite brilliant. His name was Dan Wilson, and he was one of the most brilliant people I've ever met. But he could turn it on and off like a tap. So people can do it. It's just a question
I mean, we're
testing yourselves.
we're marvellous. The human mind is a marvellous thing. It absolutely can do extraordinary things, and and it's a question of believing and knowing that you can do these things. Is there any other questions? What's your name, love? Sorry.
Lorraine.
Who?
Lorraine.
Lorraine. Oh, hello, Lorraine.
If you're not somebody that douses regularly, you're not that familiar with it, how do you actually establish what the situation is with your auras and keep that intact? How do you initially...
Well, I'll be honest with you, because I've been doing this for 40 odd years, and I just used to send healing to people. It wasn't until I started really dowsing, about 20 odd years ago, that I started using it to see if I could pick up anything, literally, with it, like if there was a problem in it. I mean, some people use rods and they go over the body and the rod will go bump and it'll give them a place where there's a problem. And the same, you can do it the same with a pen. You know Peter Golding, don't you?
Yeah.
I've got a book from him and he does healing. He's a healer as well. And he goes down the spine. He don't necessarily touch the spine, and he'll go down the spine of the person. And when he gets a problem, he's with his hand, his pendulum will react. And then what he'll do is he'll touch that person on that part of the spine of the body, and that part of the body will represent an organ within the body, and he'll give it healing. So, you know, we just don't use these facilities. I think, we use only about 1/3 of our brain.
Yeah.
Or might
At
be
best. At best.
At best.
Yeah.
So the rest of it's like dormant, you know. But we develop these abilities. I mean, if you look at dowsers and people do dowsing and people do meditation, the beta waves are quite low, you know, in dowsers, and more so when sometimes people do meditation. So it is a form of meditative, you know, state of mind that you allow yourself to get in.
Yeah.
And it's the same with anything. You can do meditation, and from the meditation you can develop, you know, what you want. Now, you know, I'm just acting. I can read energy, you know, and although I'll just give a little demonstration here about it, it can be much more comprehensive if you wish, you know, like if that person. But we're here just as a demo. And obviously, I don't want to go into your personal life. It's like dowsing. I don't dowse without permission. I'm sure most of you're all the same. And it's the same with this. When I sit there, if I'm shown something, then it's a different thing. Then I know that person might need help. But I don't sort of sit and tune into people and go, oh, Frank over there, like his left leg's going to drop off next week. You know.
Really has.
Yeah. Well.
Ryan.
Yeah, but I just say, you know, this is a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful gift that you do, and you know, I always think a gift is there to help the human race. That's how I look.
Was it hereditary? Did you have very spiritual parents?
No, not really. No, but my name was a medium, and some say that it runs through generations.
Yeah.
My brother's a medium. My older brother. I'm a medium. But he used to take the mick out of me terrible. The pun, mick. Yeah, and he used to take. I used to give it to me proper, and then until he till he started having little things. And a friend of mine, Dick Jarman, who taught me, he met him and the lady friend is Edna, and give him so much information. After that, he changed. But always, I've always had this from a young man. So, I've not always recognised it by no means, because, you got, like I said to Jerry, who do you talk to about it,
Well, you have to come here every 2 months.
Well, you do, but you don't always realise it.
But I was in
Door
the
is
high street.
open.
I was in the high street locally and started talking to someone who I knew vaguely, and she was with another person. In no time, dowsing and healing and all the rest, exactly the same.
Yeah, yeah.
But you've just got to open up and be willing to put yourself, if someone thinks you're daft, but accept that I'm a bit, that way, and suddenly they are too, and there's a lot of potential.
Well, I can tell you, I've got a mate who's been my friend for 65 years. I've known him since I was 5 years old, and I'm also interested in UFOs and whatever.
I've got UFO footage on my phone.
Right, brilliant. But I also talked to him, and he goes, "Yeah, a load of old crap. What are you talking about?" Anyway, I said, "Oh, you'll see. You wait one day, it'll come out." Anyway, when they released the Tic Tac things about the UFOs and the limits, he shut up. So when he talks to me now, he goes, "I don't want to talk about that." And he said, "No, I got fine.
Right,
That's fine."
Okay, Nick, should we just have
Yep.
a 10-minute break now?
Yeah, sure.
And, then we'll go on to your picking
Psychometry,
up
yeah,
psychometry and all the rest of it. Okay, if anybody wants a little break, do so. We'll have 10 minutes, and then we'll be getting back.
Show us
for
your
another
footage.
session.
Yes, water there if you want it.
No, I don't touch it.
The door is open.
Don't worry. Okay, it's
The
okay.
secret, I don't know what the secret is. I didn't even know there was doors there. They sneaked them in overnight.
But nowadays, people talk about, they don't talk about meditation, they talk about mindfulness. Now, when I started, it was called silver mind control. So all of these things are becoming normal.
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, I teach my grandchildren about meditation. I teach my grandchildren about dowsing. I was dowsing pendulums indoors, and I take them out and do a little bit of dowsing with them. But obviously, as they get to teenage, they sort of got their own things to do, and I just go fine,
Did
But
you know,
it's planted there, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's my
yeah.
point.
Did you know there's a scientist, a neurological scientist down in Exeter who's been testing out dowsing on the brainwaves, and I'm desperately trying to get him up here on one occasion, but he's down in Exeter and it's a long way. However, the bones of it are that our brains operate, we're all electrically operated, our brains normally operate at 13 hertz, Hertz. When you're into meditation, your brain starts to operate at 15 hertz, but when you go into dowsing, your brain operates at 18 hertz, and that is the highest level of visualisation you can ever reach, which is higher even than meditation. The other thing about dowsing and going into 18 hertz level is that all the plaque that attaches to our nodes in our brain that causes Alzheimer's and that sort of thing, it can't handle 18 hertz. The plaque can stick on the nodes up to about 15 hertz, but then when it gets to 18 hertz, it all starts to vibrate, and all this plaque starts to fragment off. So
Right.
if you get involved with dowsing in a big way, a serious way, which I hope you do, then what happens is your chances of getting Alzheimer's are reduced quite considerably.
Is that true, John?
Simply because,
Really?
yes, simply because the
Amazing.
plaque on the nodes in your brain, they have to vibrate at 18
Certain
hertz
friends.
because it can't handle it. It reaches a point where everything starts to flick off, which helps you. Doesn't stop people getting Alzheimer's, but it is a big aid just not getting it, which is important. So my advice to you all is to get your dowsing rods and pendulums out and do whatever you can.
I took a video footage. Watch this.
Sorry?
Watch this.
Like dowsing everything you want to do? Or
Well, within reason, I wouldn't expect you to go around Sainsbury's
No,
and
not
douse the
down.
quality of the freezers.
For instance, we wanted to have a particular medication, we douse it before you take it.
But you can see it
Or you want to
changed.
do something
Yeah, yeah,
else
yeah.
and you are not sure. Then you
Yeah.
say, douse it and
Yeah.
see whether it is
If the
okay.
doctor's giving you, I'm not going to advise you.
You can't.
If the doctor's
Well,
giving you
even the
tablets
doctor.
and you want to just check up at home, you can hold the tablets in your hand and ask the question to yourself, are these tablets really going to do me any good? I use dowsing rods, so the answer will either be a yes or a no. But that will do one thing or the other. It won't just stay there like that. It'll give you an answer.
And it's not mainly the more you practice, the more it's beneficial
Like
for your
everything else. Yeah,
body and for your brain and for.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
see.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. I'm just going to shut these doors. I like these doors, they're nice. I like them. Right, so do you want to do you okay now?
Yeah, I'm quite. Yeah, I mean, anybody would like to ask any more questions before we go into the psychometry?
Yeah, do you ever sort of see materialise things like? Do you ever see figures or like UFOs or things like that? Do you ever sort of materialise things?
I have. When I was in the army and I was stationed out in Canada, I see we was on manoeuvres, so we was all dug in the forest, and we see a big white light come down. Now, if it was an helicopter, the sound would have travelled miles. I mean, they're not exactly quiet things, and the thing come down. It was dead silent, and I've seen other lights, but I always think to myself, we see lights in the sky, and it's like, are they a natural phenomena? Are they, not obviously? I think if it was an asteroid or something shooting across the sky, you could go, well, yeah, that's a meteorite. But I always thought, even with this subject, that lights are like a little bit dodgy. Personally, I mean, considering what they've got, the Air Force have got them, and ourselves have photographed over the years, where you've actually seen these craft, especially these new ones that are coming up with the triangles,
Yeah.
and the lights from them, they seem to move around, and they definitely seem to be structured. You know, you can tell from the way the lights are, but the phenomenon is such a strange phenomenon. I mean, she's showing us photographs and some of these lights, I think there was one in Norway where it opened up and things come through it. I mean, we don't know if it's a portal. We don't know if they interdimensional, these vehicles. I mean, what type of civilization? The Japanese, I think his name's Mika or something. I can't pronounce his name. I can, but I forgot his name. And he talks about types of civilization, and he goes, well, you've got to think Earth is a type nil civilization, that we're fragmented, that we're warlike. And he put into stages that like a type 1 type 2 civilization would be able to do control the weather. A type 1 civilization would be like a million years ahead of us, technically and mentally. So who knows, I believe we are. I believe they are among us, and I believe they've been visiting the Earth for many thousands of years. I mean, the Romans called them flying shields. There's pictures of the Madonna and the Baby, I think, and there's one little put a little flying saucer in there. Now, why would you do that? I mean, so yeah, I think it's up for debate, and I think disclosures now with UFOs have gone beyond the fact that they do exist. Even the militaries now are starting to say to their people, yes, we don't know what they are. So,
Anyway, can we move on?
Yeah, sure, for sure,
We're
yeah.
not really into UFOs.
No, I know, but I'm sorry, we digressed.
That's
You
next.
talked about spiritual. I mean, I don't. This is new to me, the dowsing and everything like that. It's not my background or whatever, but my grandparent, my dad's mum, she used to see spirits.
Yeah, lots of
And
people
at the
do.
end of the bed, and my
Yeah.
dad, the story is goes that my dad lost his bag on a train. She
Yeah.
asked one of them where it had gone, and they went and found it. So,
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean,
it's quite they might answer all.
well, I think it's to do with people's religious beliefs. I mean, either you believe there's life after death, or you think, like a lot of people, when you're dead, you're dead. I mean, and that is, you know, you can't really have a middle road. I think you're either going to think it, but like John said, let's digress back to this. Digress from this, right? You want me to go back up there?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. Right. Yes. Yeah. Sorry.
Anybody's got
Right, so-
anything that you'd
We-
like to give me to get a feel for it, or
And I will try and do my best. Right.
that's all we can hope for.
The psychometry, a bloke called Dr. Buchanan in 1842 first coined it. What he did was he was a psychologist, and what he did was got a bunch of medicines. He put them like these in tubes, and then what he did is he basically covered them up so they couldn't see what else, and they held them and they give him above average correct answer for what they thought that was in these jars, medicines. And there was another guy, and another one done it in 1854 with his sister, Professor Denton, and he was the guy was a geologist. So what he did, he got his sister to help him. And what he did is he wrapped samples of stones and rocks, and she held them to a mine, and she correctly identified them. So we know it works. We know that energy gives, and what happens is, if that object that you have should really only be given to you, because it can get contaminated with other people's emotions, and we infuse things because we put sentimental value like to jewellery, which is understandable. It might be mum's, or it might have been bought with you by your husband or your girlfriend at the time. It was given to you and it held special meaning, but you impregnate it with your energy. So the energy then stays with that object, and you can hold that object, and you can get readings from it. Now it might even tell you who give it to you. It might tell you that person is at the time that you were given was not well, or there was problems. It could, same thing, it just gives you a lot of different readings from it, and you can pick it up. However, if it belongs to multiple people, you can obviously you can get a lot of different readings from it because they impregnate it. Now we know this happens because at the Battle of Culloden, when they were like in the I think it was in 1560s or something like that. I'm not 100% sure of the dates, but after the battles, when certain conditions showed themselves in that area, and it was the same as that, people see the battle and have heard the battlefields. I'm sure you've all heard that story, because that area then is impregnated because of the violence and the anger and obviously loss of life. So that's why places old. Houses, old memories. People can walk in a certain house and go, oh, I like this house. Another person walk in and go, oh, I don't like this. I get bad vibes from this. But what you're doing is you're reading from there what is impregnated in them walls. And a lot of houses have quartz in them. You know, the plaster's got quartz in the plaster. Some areas, quartz holds information. I mean, that's why they obviously use quartz in radios and chips and all sorts of things. But we know that areas hold information, and that information can sometimes be read. Right, so
Same as ghosts, though. Is this the same as ghosts? That's
No.
just information that's vibrating away in the walls.
Yeah, it ain't a ghost, it's a memory. I mean, you get people will say, I've seen soldiers marching along and they'll be at a certain depth.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because that is the period of time that land was that low. You know what I mean? But after years, it'll fade. So what they think it's a memory that's in that area, or for whatever holds it, and whatever conditions are right at the time, you will see them. But after time, then it fades. You know, people say, well, I used to see a monk walking down the chapel, but I haven't seen them for years. I think that's the memory stored there, like, you know what I mean? You know, so.
But equally, you can get ones that are interactive, because where I
Yes,
work at
oh
the
yeah.
Maritime Museum, we've got Admiral Bing, who was, at one point, some guy was working and he found someone in a uniform was handing him tools and grinning at him.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah, no, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is because I'm relating.
So we've got two different types.
Yes, we have. Yeah.
And we've
I mean,
also got ley energies crossing all over.
Yeah, well, that is it. And then I was talking about the, obviously, a geopathic stress and the straight lines. The Saxons wouldn't build their roads straight because they believe they become spirit paths. So, yeah, I would say, yeah, there are certain spirit that will talk to you and will communicate with you. Obviously, as a medium, it happens to me all the time. When I'm working, I'll give me information. And I'll go back, and if I don't get the information, sometimes I ask, and they will interact with me and say, or show me a picture, or whatever way they show it to me. But they do that. So, yeah.
You obviously know about teleporting.
Yeah, teleportation.
And why does that happen? Why does someone receive something? Is it because spirit is trying to give a message to the person?
Well, ask yourself, we live in a vibrational world. Our brains are radio sets. You know, I can put a radio down and say, I'll move it a dial that way, I'll get Radio Caroline. I'll move it that way, I'll get BBC. Human brain's like that. It's a receiver. Exactly. And if you can train yourself to tune into the right station, you'll get the right answers. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. It's the same. It's you tune into that vibration, what you're looking for. You know, and so it is. We live in an energy field with lots of information that's going through us and around us. It's just that we can't, obviously, you couldn't keep tuning into everything. It'd be no good. So, you know, we have to live in the now and have a nice balance. And then, like, whenever you do your dowsing or your medium work, you then give yourself time for that period. I always say to people, balance is an important thing. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter what you do, whether you're doing dowsing, whatever job you do, you find a nice balance. It keeps you healthy mentally, emotionally, and for your family. Yeah.
I find it really calming. It's like I can't quite understand how easy it is to ask that question, and then it just happens.
Well,
I just can't get. It's just amazing.
Yeah, that's it.
well, we all got it. I mean, there's no one here that cannot develop it, but it's just to what degree you do it. It's like
It's really new to me.
Yeah, of course. And it's the same with dowsing. If you don't dowse all the time, you can't expect always to get the right answers.
No.
You know, you go, is that a brick? And you know, and you could be dowsing it for and it will get no. But it may be just the way you put the question in the first place, or ask the question. But as soon as you ask the question the right way, then you tune in mentally into that. You use visualisation, so you are tuning your radio straight into that frequency of whatever you're looking for, and you can get that. But there's so much information coming anyway that it can confuse you. But that's why you have to that's why they all say. Well, if you on a Wednesday at 10 o'clock, you sit down at the desk and you do your dowsing. Monday mornings, from 9 o'clock to 1:30, I do my healing and my dowsing to do with the healing. I don't let nothing interfere with that. My wife knows, well, he's up there now, and I won't come out of that my bedroom to maybe 12 or 1. Depends how many people I've got to give absent healing to. But it's all done with intent, like you said. I send healing to people with intent. So I sit there, I ask about their chakras, I ask about their auric fields. Is there any holes in the auric field that need healing? So I'm sending that energy out and that thought out. I ask my spirit guides to help me, and that's what I do. Now for me that works. Now I stand in there and tell you what I do. I don't ask anybody to believe me. That's up to you. You've all got your own ways and your own way of thinking about it.
Nick, can you have a look at that?
Yeah.
I'll tip it out for you. Yeah.
Right, so let me see, keep me off.
What's this art called?
Psychometry.
This is called psychometry, yeah.
Psychometry.
And a doctor called Dr. Beechingham done it, started off in 1842. He turned the terminology for it. Right? And in Greek it means soul and measure. That's what it means in Greek for those who are a bit more, want to know about it. Right, what are you going to give me now? For some reason, I'll get about the 18th century with this,
Yep.
around that period of time.
Yep.
I can only tell you who the person had this. I feel sick with this, quite sick, physically sick, with this object.
It's a ring.
The ring, yeah. Also, it's a woman. I'll go back, when I go back, I want to go back maybe the earlier part of the 18th century with this. I want to go back with this, that time. And as I'm getting images of old London in that whole time, like with the Georgian houses and all that type of thing, and Georgian, early Victorian, and that's what I'm getting. And as I'm standing here holding this, I'm getting I can see a lady. She had a straw hat on, and I can see that she's got a black coat around her, a cloak, and I would say she's in the late 50s. Might be earlier because it's hard to tell because people didn't live that long in them periods of time.
Don't have to go too mad with it, Nick. You can just...
But that's what I got. So could you concur with what I'm saying with this, or?
Well, I can tell you that it was very early 18th century.
Yeah, I knew that because that's what I got.
Because it was found on a dig that I was involved in
Right,
some years ago.
right. Yeah. So
We believe that the person who had this was an apothecary.
all right.
So if you say there's a lot of illness about,
Yeah, I felt sick, a lot of sickness. Yeah, so that may be
it
right.
was an apothecary.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
There we are.
Yeah. Could I have a drink of water, please?
Yeah, yeah.
Could I just, because I want to clear myself.
You don't want a pig's tooth, do you?
It might squill on me. Bob-omb.
I've got this, I don't know if this is the sort of thing you want.
Yeah. Well,
Well, here we go.
I will tell you trouble with stones. tall stones are very ancient, obviously, because they've been on the earth millions of years. And was this found by the seaside? Because I tell you why. I tell you why. As soon as I start, I'm getting a beach, a pebbled beach. So that's what I'm going to. That's what I'm going to.
You were talking about earlier about how these kind of memories fade in time, and you're looking at a rock that is
Millions of years
Exactly.
old. Yeah, exactly. It does, but it depends on the last person to have it, how much emotion they attach to the object.
okay. So if I picked it off the beach, it wouldn't necessarily have anything attached to it.
Well, how long's it been there? It might be.
Exactly.
I mean, how many people just picked it up? Sorry.
Not the beach, but near water.
Oh, right. Well, I'll say near water. I don't think that's too bad, considering it's a rock and the stone. I don't know why I'm getting something to do with the 60s here with this.
60s?
Yeah, period of time. I'm not saying that was that. I'm just saying that's what comes to me, so I tell you. But like I said, how many people's handled this over the years? You know, even if it's been in your house and the kids or someone picked it up and just looked at it, they will leave a marker on it. All right? And as I hold this, I see a gentleman. I don't know if he's with you or learned that, but he was quite tall, well-dressed man, weren't fat. He'd wear a suit and tie. Black. I can see him with
Suit and tie?
yeah, I'm seeing a guy, so I can only give you what I'm getting, so I'll just pass it on, so I'll go yes or no. Because I come to the point now, I say this is what I see, this is what I'm getting from this. For some reason, that's what I'm getting. So I just give it off. But you've got to remember, sometimes you have to search for these things. I mean, you know, we meet a lot of people, we know a lot of people, and what we do is we you know, there might be someone down the road who picked it up from where you lived. I don't know, when you was a child or what's that. But I will not get a lot of. I'm not getting a lot from this, because it simply is a stone. You know, so I will give you that back. I'm sorry if I didn't get much up on it, but that's how it goes. Right. Hold on, I'll give you. I'll be with you in again. I'll get round.
No, we don't. Right. We know nothing about it.
Well, right.
You can say what you like.
I can. That is the truth. But hopefully I can give you something. It's very warm to me. This is, and I know it's obviously been forged because it's a link of a chain. Well, I'll give you what I get from it. I'll get this. Is this a link with horses with this? You ain't got a clue. Oh, right. Too clever. Because as soon as I got it part of it, I can see, you know, like horse and cart things. Something to do with the horse and something to do with the cart, and perhaps it was a part of it. You know, like the chain or something to do with it. I don't know nothing about horses and cart, and I don't know exactly how many chains they had on the things, but that's what I feel with it. Well, I've also got a name, but it's called Alfred. So I'll give you what I got.
That's the horse?
Well, no. I don't. Red rum. No, I just got a name for that, so that's what I'll give it to you. Like I say, I'll get things, and things just come to me, and I'll just give them out. So I get that. Right. Oh, you're showing me that. This might be with you. I don't know. Is there? Have you got navy links? Naval links. I'm not sure if it's in the family. Yeah. And would that links be with the old type sailing ships? I'm going back here. Like I'm not sure if it's
to do with the object, to be honest.
Yeah. But I'm just sorry. That's what I get because it's. I just give it to you, and I just see an old type sailing Clippers type ship, and so that's why I asked if there's navy links.
I don't know what sort of ship he was on.
Yeah. So I just.
Naval training ship.
Yeah. So that's what I see. So because you've handled it, like I said, you're giving it, so it becomes a link for me. All right. So that's what I get. So I know there's a naval link there with it.
Can you stick with the object rather than the family?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just saying. But no, I will do.
No,
Yeah.
because there's a reason.
No. Go on. Yeah. No, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, you're quite right. Yeah. Right. Let's be. You're showing me. Well, like I said, I got awesome cart thing with this chain. I can't help it. That's what I've got. It's
Fine.
I'm sorry if it was. I didn't mean to offend. No offence was meant
It
by
was
it.
found by our young son at the time, about 15, 18 years ago, something like that, on the beach in Cornwall near Padstow.
Oh, I know Paso. Yeah.
So maybe the
I don't know. It could be. I didn't pick.
Ship link is perfectly correct.
Yeah, I didn't pick anything up like that at all. So that's why I said. You know what I mean? I just.
It was to do with the sailing ship.
Yeah. Well, it could be. Well, yeah. I mean. All right. Let's give this. All right. Let me give you this. This one more. I'm sorry about that. I can only give you what I get.
It does fit, mate, surely.
I'll get a lady with this. Don't tell me. You shouldn't. Don't tell me. Don't feed me, please. Because where I've got a lot of love from it. I've got a lot of feeling. I can feel it, and it's nice and light. It's for me. And it's on a nice love vibration. And I know this was passed down to you.
Yeah.
Well, it was passed to you from a family heirloom. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This lady was a lovely, warm person. If you just say yes or no, then I can, and just that saying, that keeps the connection for me once I start. I want to say with this, because it's such a strong link here, and I know this is stating, but did your mum towards the end of her life have problems with her breathing?
Yeah.
Quite a while before she actually passed. Yeah, because I'm holding this and I'm getting breathing problems. And this is what I'm actually picking up off the energy from this. But I also got, this was, did your dad give you these, your mum these? Was these bought by your dad? Now I know like family do buy things. You don't know? Say no or yes if you don't.
No.
No, oh, it's fine. I'm only because because once that connection starts building up, I start getting other things with it. So I'm not just getting an object that this was.
Well, then it's a yes, because
Yes.
they were travelling.
Because I see a boat travelling. So that's why I just say yes or no. Then you're not giving me nothing. I'll get. Did your mum have to do with teaching? Who was a teacher? There's someone teaching. Teachers. Right, don't just leave it. For some reason, I'm getting teaching about it. You might have to think about it later on, so it doesn't make you have to do it now. So. Did they travel to France?
No.
Who went to France? Who someone around you to do with this? Was
My son's in France.
ah right. No, I'm just going to give to what I get. So I picked someone's in France around you. So I know that because the connection of the vibration also gives you information about yourself and about people around you. So once that connection starts to be made, it just follows through. So I just, like I said, I'll just give you what I get. So that's it. Right, come on. You have to look after your feet. Do you have problems with your feet or your nails or your toes? Yes or no? No. Did your mum have trouble with her toes, her feet? Yes or no? No. Right, so I'll leave it there because there's someone around you who's got trouble with their toes and their feet. There's someone problems with their feet.
Okay.
Just keep an eye out for it
Okay.
and listen for it. And then next time, just say, well, you're right or you're wrong. I'm just going to give you what I get. Right, but I don't want to keep going on. Just please show me more. And sometimes what happens is, when I tune in, so someone does a lot of walking or a lot of pacing about. That's you, isn't it? Yes.
Yeah.
And I know this because I'm being done this. That tells me you're not resting properly.
Oh,
Okay? I know you like to stay active, but that also tells me you're not resting properly because that up and down, that's worry and, you know, we've all got worries. I'm not going into that. I'm just saying that's what I get.
okay.
And like I said, it's your business, none of anybody else's. And I see that you do a lot of reading at night because I can see you sitting up in your bed reading. All right, and that's what they're showing me. So I'm going to leave it at that, yeah? So we're not going to...
What's that, Rick?
A ring,
A ring? Oh.
yes. And I straight away I'll get an heirloom with this, from an heirloom. Did this belong to your nan?
My mom.
Your mum? All right, sorry, but I've got a nan.
Maybe it's belong her mom.
I'm going back, I'm saying, yeah, this, you know what I said to you, sometimes you pick up, not only...
I think it belong her mom.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So it belonged to her mum. So I know that it belonged to her mum first of all. All right, and I know it's passed down, that's what I'm saying to you. See, these people that you who have impressed this on here, right? I would say you looked a bit like your mum.
Yeah.
Yeah, you look like your mum. Did your mum suffer with her eyes, dear? Did your mum suffer with her eyesight?
Not I know of.
You don't know. I'll just say yes or no. I'll do, because I'm getting on to someone who suffered with her eyesight and trouble with their
Her
teeth.
mother suffered, not her.
Oh, right, that's it. Don't matter. So I'm picking. I've got to. It's up to me to interpret what I'm getting and give to you.
Her mother, not her.
Oh, right. So that's why I'm getting this. Also suffered with their teeth.
She has
The
problem
mouth.
with the teeth.
Did someone have problems with their teeth? Do you remember? I'll just ask because that's what I pick up and that's what I get. All right, so we move on. Come on. What else? Come in. I ain't saying that. It's quite obvious. Right. For some reason, I want to get horse and carts with you. Back in maybe in your someone's pulling just a single horse, like an horse and trap. I don't know if it's a memory that I'm picking. I'm seeing it. A horse, and just one horse pulling a little cart. So I don't know if you know there's a connection there, and that's what I'm getting. So I'm just want to pass on what I'm getting to you.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Come on. Yeah, well, maybe this is what I'm picking up. You see, the thing is, but like I said, don't dismiss what I'm asking you. Go back and, I mean, look, like everything else, most my mum, my dad, my mother-in-law, they're all past now, so it's very hard to get information of that time. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Who got the pearl earrings? Someone that's got some. Your mum got pearl earrings, yes, because they just showed me beautiful pearl earrings. So that's just to show you that I'm on the right wavelength for you, yeah? On the page, on the thing. And do you suffer with your back?
Yes.
Yes, especially there. Yes. Yeah. Right, so I'm picking that up. So I am just say look after yourself there in that area. Yeah.
I'm tired, I'm sick from looking after it. I don't know what to do anymore.
Well, I always say that because I just feel sometimes people just don't look after themselves. They look after everybody else, but they don't look after themselves. So. Right, I'll give you that back, darling.
Thank you.
Sorry.
I don't know if this is going to do anything at all.
Ah, it's a stone.
What's that, Mick?
It's a stone. It's a
Stone.
yeah. So what they call that? A black.
Tourmaline.
Yeah.
Tourmaline.
Formalin, yeah. Right. Well, I know obviously you're dowser because obviously I can see you dowsing and I know you're dowsing. So, right. I've been told you need to clear yourself a bit, your energy. You understand that, don't you, what I'm saying? You need to clear yourself. You need to give yourself a space. So that's what I'm getting from this. This stone is a very good stone for absorbing people that have, not you, but people who've got a negative attitude. You know that, don't you? That's a very good thing. And I just feel you need a bit of time for yourself with it. Does that make sense to you? Yeah? Nothing's bad there. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying to you that I've been told that you just need that space from this stone. Right? Now people say these stones don't have energy, but they do. And they do give these energies off, and they do sometimes say, clear me a bit. So
I've had it in this bag for about 2 years in
right.
my pocket.
Yeah, it's just saying that some of your stones need clearing. All right, so that's just running underwater, bit of moonlight, that does. Stop doubting yourself. What's your name, my love?
Geraldine.
Geraldine. Stop doubting yourself. Does that make sense to you? So I'm telling you that. Yeah? Just stop doubting yourself. Believe in yourself. All right? Because I'm not so much getting off of this, but I'm getting off of your aura. I feel that you want to need to express yourself more, if that's the correct way to put it. And I feel like it's, Geraldine, I feel like you're not reaching your full potential within yourself. All right? I don't know what's going on around you in your life, but you need people to back off. I ain't gonna go no more. Is that correct? Would you say that was correct?
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of stuff for other people.
Yeah, but you need to do stuff for yourself. All right, so I'm not going to go too far into that. For me, that is enough. All right, but you need healing and a bit of time for yourself. I think you need to recuperate within yourself. And no's all right to say. The word no is quite good, you know.
Have to try it sometimes.
I know, but sometimes no is good because you can't deplete yourself on other people, then do yourself no good. All right? And I suspect that you're feeling a bit fatigued with it, both mentally, emotionally and spiritually. So that's what I'm getting. So I'm going to give you that. I'm going to say to you, bless you. All right?
Can we just do one more?
Yep, I can do one more. Would you like?
Got one, Janet? Have you got something there?
Yeah, but I reckon he's got one just now.
Stone.
He's got it.
It's not too technical, not too deep.
No. Right, I'm not going to do that. I'm just stone is again, is millions of years old.
Yeah.
How many people has picked it up? But you are stone now. Do you have interest in geology in yourself?
Well, I've got a building interest, I suppose you could say, in geology.
Yeah, all right. So, because I got that straight away. So, like this man's interested in stones and stuff. So, I didn't put it down as building. I'll be honest with you. But yeah. All right. Come on. You don't want to go to it. I'll tell you what I get from this, and because you've been holding this, I'm getting quite. You're a man like a one thinking line. Once you get something in your head, that's it. You play ahead, yeah. But I want you to. Have you had a problem with some groundwork?
Sorry?
Have you had problems with some groundwork?
Oh, I could say that, yeah.
Yes.
That's right there.
Yeah, because I'm seeing groundwork, so I know there's a problem now. It needs a bit more. Yeah, no, but I've just got it. So obviously you've had that, and I'm not going too deep. So all I'm going to say to you, what's your name?
Andrew.
Andrew. All I want to say to you is that it needs to be rethought. I don't know why, but it's rethink, and I think you will be also with it. I'm getting that. For some reason, they're saying, look at the small print. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but you take it for what it is, all right? So I'm not going to give you too much,
that's all.
Because that's all right.
Yeah. Can we put a stop to it for now?
Yes?
Because we've done an hour and a half.
Is there anybody want to ask any more questions?
You can in a minute.
Yeah.
When I've just sorted things out. Anyway, I think we all thank Nick for doing what he's done.
I hope you was happy what I give you. I've done my best.
And he's an eye-opener to everybody. Can I just say while you're all quiet, because it doesn't happen